Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport, and today we're going to be doing a Team of the Week on the second round of the Carling Currie Cup. Some big wins by the Lions, Pumas, and a massive victory by the Bulls. So the Bulls just sort of piling off ahead into the distance, but because it is a knockout tournament, they're obviously, whilst they're the overriding favourites, it now all sort of becomes down to getting within that sort of top, the next three, getting into that top four, getting into semi-finals, finals, because when it gets to playoff rugby, anything can happen. But we're going to be looking at some of the top performing players within the last round. Obviously, a team very much dominated by the Bulls. Before we go to the team itself, please do subscribe to the channel. 2 watch-alongs coming up this weekend. We're going to be doing both the Saturday games, Lions versus Cheetahs, Bulls versus Sharks. It should be a fantastic day of rugby. We will be live and doing a watch-along, so make sure you subscribe to the channel right now so that you don't miss that on Saturday. Without any further ado, this is the team we have picked. And obviously, you're seeing a lot of Bulls players there. So we're going to go 1 through to 15. Stephen Kitsoff was very good against the Lions. And one of the main reasons why John Dobson was blasting the refereeing, because he said that he felt that they should have had a lot more penalties come scrum time. And he thought that they were being unfairly treated when it came to the scrums. And that they were, in fact, dominating the Lions. And look, there was a certain amount that was true. But he did give Ruan Drea a very, very hard time. And he just, he continues to he's always working. If you look at his defensive stats, he made 10 tackles. So you can't ever doubt that aspect of him. And was just very, very good. Johan Kwabalon and Trevor Nyakane were immense for the Bulls. I mean, that second half performance. I mean, if you had to put the entire 15-man Bulls out, you wouldn't have really complained at all. But Johan Kwabalon made 8 tackles. And then I just thought Trevor Nyakane is playing some very good rugby at the moment. He's a player who's been struggling with injury. So I'm just trying to pull up the stats here. Struggling with injury for a while. Came off the bench in that second half and was immense. He replaced Marcel van der Merwe, and he was just fantastic. And he worked hard. He made quite a few tackles, and he's just a player who I mean, you talk about X factor. You don't really give to him as X factor when it comes to props, but he's just become so solid and so reliable. And I mean, there's a reason that he would have been arguably, was always sort of pushing that thing to be the starting tight head for the Springboks. And I thought he was very good over the weekend. Situ Manjezi on a rare start for the Bulls was fantastic. Made a couple of runs, worked very, very hard, and I just thought and looked quite promising on the attack. I think he made 13 meters, a line break, and was very solid when it came to the lineouts as well. I mean, it's a decent lineout option, but so I thought he was quite played quite nicely. He hasn't had too much opportunity, but definitely justifying his move to the Bulls as well. And Marvin Orie, who just continues to be very, very solid for the Lions. And look, I thought Willem Alberts was also quite good and seems to be back and playing some very good rugby. But Marvin Orie, he just takes charge of the lineout. And when it comes to sort of games which are very, very tight, set pieces are quite important, and whilst he might not always be the main receiver, calls the lineouts very well and does the basics. And his discipline has gotten a lot better over the tournament, and he was playing pretty well this weekend. And so I've gone with him. Look, there are other options as well. JD Schikkeling was pretty solid. While Steenkamp was pretty good as well. But I mean, there were a couple of vital moments with Marvin Orie. He was a couple of steals. He's always there to run the ball up and stuff like that, and he got decent hands as well. So and then the loose trio: Marco Verstappen, Daniel Martins, Dwayne Vermeulen. I mean, Marco Verstappen speaks for himself. He has to be in the Bark radar. Probably the best player in South Africa right now. He's playing such good rugby. Dwayne Vermeulen is just Mr. Consistency every single week. Does not drop balls. He's so good on defense, and he's such an intelligent player. When you think that, just some of the tackles he makes, the way he tackles, and he's so aware, he's such a vital cog in that Bulls lineup. And then Daniel Martin was terrific for the Pumas, and where the pack really stood up, and they took the game to Griquas and got a victory, a very well-deserved victory as well. Imbros Pierre on a rare start these days for Bulls, and I get frustrated because I think he's such a good player and has so much promise that he should be doing more in that Bulls side and should be getting more opportunities, in my opinion. I thought he was very good. He got a try to his name. Morné Steyn came back and just started straight back in. Look, Chris Smith came off the bench and got a try. So, credit onto him because he's also playing some very good rugby. But Morné Steyn just showed his class. He just doesn't do anything wrong these days. He just dictated the entire game. His kicking is just too good. He's just too good with the boot. Whether it's kicking a goal or kicking in behind the fence, up and unders, he really does dictate the entire pace of the game. Edwin Cater, 2 tries for the Greek, was such a hard worker. I think we'll see him somewhere else next season. I don't think we're going to see him at the Greek, because he made 47 meters in 7 carries, a clean line break as well. So yeah, and he continues to work very, very hard. Colonel Hendricks, yeah, he's every week he's in and around there. He's just very consistent. And the Bulls side, which are playing such good rugby at the moment, he's a very important part of that midfield. And Ruan Nel, who I'm a big fan of and really like to see him an outside centre, sort of justified his selection. I thought he was very solid. And I think, that midfield of Rikus Pretorius and Dan du Plessis has had moments, but been pretty overwhelming overall, if we're being completely honest. Whereas I thought that Ruan Nel, he's very good in defence. His tackling is very solid. He made 11 tackles, and on the attack, he made some decent meters, and he's a very intelligent player. He's not necessarily the fastest, but he's a very intelligent player, and he's obviously always going to come with a very good skill set, being a sevens player. And then the last two of the other two lines play, Stian Pienaar, just a little bundle of energy. Not necessarily the biggest player on the field, but very, very powerful, and that quick thinking, and he backed himself to get the try for the Lions, which was a major part of that victory. So, that alone, for me, gets him into the side, because without that try, Lions are winning that match. And then Tiaan Swanepoel with it should have been a man of the match. It was a fantastic performance by him on debut, kicked beautifully. Some of the biggest kicks I've ever seen from a Lions player. Such a big asset to have somebody who can do that in your side, and was very, very good. And with the Lions missing 2 of their fullbacks, to be able to come in and do it like that is a fantastic, and just what the Lions really need, because they've been looking for someone, pretty much looking for a long-term, exciting fullback option. So he's still got lots to learn. But when you think the Lions are still trying to replace Andries Coetzee, Lombard injured, Ipolion injured, you got Divan Rousseau, but trying to find that sort of long-term and build a backline around the likes of Simelane, now Swanepoel, Stian Pienaar, these youngsters. Morné van den Berg was also very good when he came on. That he looks like he's a decent find by the Lions. So that's our team of the week. A couple of players obviously are always unlucky not to get in there. So let me know down below who you would have chosen ahead of some of these players. It's always up for debate. This is just our opinion. We want to know what yours is down below. Please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We will be back with 5 things we learned tomorrow, as well as we begin our previews ahead of the weekend for another exciting round of Currie Cup action. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you very, very soon.